Shouts out to Data Crew for sponsoring this video. Today we're doing a deep dive on how I use my Sling bag to store my daily essentials. Now, in order to pursue your purpose, you're going to need some custom curated accessories that'll work specifically for you. Now, we're going to take a look at the gear that's in my bag, why I chose it, and how I store it in the all-new Data Crew XPAC Snacktime Sling. And there's a secret hidden feature inside this sling that's going to change how you prepare your loadout, so keep your eyes peeled. Boom. There we go. I'm sure you can relate, but the worst feeling ever when it comes to gear is forgetting something you need. Take these keys for example. This is the KeySmart nylon key organizer. It lets you stack up your keys, organize them how you wish, and swivels out for easy access. I argue that this is the most important piece of gear in my kit. Can't leave home without it, can't go anywhere without these things. And I've literally walked out the front door, closed it, reached into my pocket only to find nothing but lint. That's why I would advocate for popping these things that you could so easily misplace when it's scattered all over your desk or across your home into something like the Snacktime Sling in order to keep things in one place. Now, before we get too deep into the Sling loadout, let's take a look at the bag itself. Data Crew sent me their latest version of the Snacktime Sling, this time in dark olive XPAC. And I gotta say, the material completely transforms the look and feel of the bag. Now, the Sling's main features are the same. You still got that spacious main compartment, you've got that generous loop field out front for your favorite REs or modules, detachable modules called Snacktime trays that really let you dial in the custom configuration of your Sling, YKK AquaGuard zippers working in tandem with the XPAC to keep your gear dry inside. I'll link a whole video that I made breaking down the features of the bag at the end of this video, but they've made some massive improvements to this version of the Sling that's really elevated the bag's performance, the first of which is the bag frame. This Sling has now got a big booty. It's got a donk. Now, if you look back at the original Snacktime Sling, it had a big compartment, but a small footprint, which caused it to flop over on whatever surface you had it on if it wasn't filled to max capacity. Now, if you take a look at this version of the Sling, it's got what looks like double the footprint area. So that means it's gonna freestand on whatever surface you've got it on, whether you're packing it up or even working out of it. The XPAC material also complements this feature because it's more rigid than the ballistic nylon used in the V1, resulting in an overall sturdier and more useful bag. The exterior loop has been upgraded with a finer, higher quality loop texture that looks great whether you're decking it out with all of your favorite REs or simply rocking it birthday suit style. Here's a pro tip. Inside there are two removable elements to organize your gear. If you really needed to and you were on the job, you could easily grab them and hook them on the outside of your Sling for frequent and easy access to your tools. Now, while I wouldn't recommend rocking out with your tools out all the time because you probably lose them over the long term, it's a handy option if you need it. Alright, now I'm starting to feel like this Sling was made just for me. Yank the pull cord and you're out. Throw the Sling over your shoulder, snap it, and you're in. Y'all don't know how happy I am to see this incorporated into the Sling, and I've been nagging Lowe's to add a Fidlock magnetic clasp even before the V1 came out. That magnetic clasp makes it so easy for you to put on and take off your Sling, and once you get used to it, it's seamless and it doesn't affect your workflow whatsoever. Easy in, easy out. Chef's kiss. That was way too many sound effects in one go, but... And the cherry on top, this version of the Snacktime Sling gets updated tags with that new PVC label that's sewn onto the side there, and it adds an extra dimension of aesthetic to the bag. The only things that are really missing from the Sling for me are zipper pulls for the main compartment. While there is one built into the quick access front pocket, it really is essential to my workflow and how I access my gear to have those zipper pulls in the main compartment for easy access. So I've gone ahead and weaved some paracord lanyards there so that I can easily do that. Every loadout needs a knife, and in my hand I've got the Civivi Vision FG, this one sporting a black Nitro V blade and dark green micarta scales. The Vision FG incorporates the Super Lock, which is a spine lock designed by Snex that allows you to open and close your knife in a fun and fidgety way. This knife is going into that first elastic loop here. The next most essential items in my Sling loadout are going to be my smartphone and my sunglasses. I've got the iPhone 14 Pro and the Ray-Bans Light Force Wayfarers. Now I've grouped these two together because they're both ideal options for putting into that dedicated zip pocket behind the Sling. Because they're both made of glass and I don't want them to get easily scratched up, shattered. So I'm gonna isolate them in that pocket. I usually keep my smartphone in my back pocket anyway, so the sunglasses are gonna be in there by themselves, nice and safe. For the flashlight, it's gonna be a classic one, the Olight Baton 3. It's small but powerful, coming in at a max lumen output of 1200 lumens, and that's going in the second elastic loop next to the knife. Now the pen is a thing of beauty. While we're talking about fidgety things here in the loadout, we've got this awesome bolt action mechanism for clicking out and clicking in your pen. Real fidgety, real fun to do, but also the ink refill inside is the Schmidt Easy Flow 9000. Sounds like a really awesome retro robot, but it's a really popular ink refill out there and it writes real smooth. You pair that with a product from a reputable journal maker like Leuchtturm, and you've got a solid note-taking beast of a machine. The pen is going to be stored in the large zip mesh pocket here, and the Leuchtturm is going to be floating in the main compartment here. Now, of course, we've got such a huge loop field out front, there's no way we're not taking advantage of that by throwing some of our favorite REs into the mix. What do you think? Too loud? Too subtle? Which one's your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Now, we're content creators after all, and you know we're not missing these shots, so we're taking the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 with us on our Sling loadout. Now, luckily, this gimbal stabilized camera has its own protective case, so feel free to throw it in the main compartment to float, or if you so choose, throw it into that zipped mesh pocket inside there with the pen. Both will be protected. We're always living with purpose, so if you want to take the occasional gaming break, throw in that Nintendo Switch. If you're out bright and early, you might want to throw in that Yeti 8-ounce Rambler filled with your favorite espresso shot, or maybe you just throw some more camera gear in there so you're even more ready. So what did you think of the XPAC Snacktime Sling, and how does it compare to the OG V1? One thing I personally noticed when I was making this video was that they replaced that high-vis orange 200 denier nylon on the interior with a light gray version of the same nylon. So if you're into that bright orange, that may leave something left to be desired. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you here next time. Live with purpose. Peace. I still can't get over that Fidlock magnetic clasp, man. It's too good. It's too good. You can't have a Sling without a magnetic clasp. Fight me on it. That's the end of the story for me.